Oh, okay, and share. That's top 3, and here we go. Okay, so okay, good. So we have there number 1, you have to follow the boss. Number 2, don't steal from everybody, man. So that don't steal from normal people. Be good to normal people. Number 3, what we have here is don't disturb the harmony of the gang. So don't fight with other gang members. Don't be jealous to them. Don't be bad to them. Like brothers, you have to be like brothers and never touch the wife from another member. Then we have number 4. Number 4. Ken, can you try to read number 4?
Never
Involve
involve yourself with
drugs.
drugs.
Okay, let's see who can understand never involve yourself with drugs. What does it mean? How about you, Poto? Can you understand when it says never involve yourself with drugs?
No.
What is drugs? What is the meaning for okay, JJ, what do you say?
Don't use the drug.
Correct, very good. Don't use drugs. Don't take drugs, don't use drugs. So never involve yourself with drugs. If you involve yourself with drugs, you get a big problem. Okay. And the problem usually would be the death of the member. Number 5. Cut the finger. Okay. Okay. Imagine yourself as example, rule number 3. Somebody do something against your family. Can you forgive?
No.
So there is no cutting finger. The cutting finger, what you see in the movies and stuff, is maybe you lose or you not follow a command. This is you give honor to the boss. But break a rule like that, go against the family, another member, or the touch the wife from another member, or the take drugs. Because if you take drugs today and you stop, maybe you will take drugs again. So the bosses will not forgive that. There is no cutting finger. A cutting finger, what you see in the movies, is only for, as example, you get a job to do and you cannot fulfill, you cannot make the job finish, then you maybe do that for the boss let you live. You understand what I mean? But not for you take drugs, because you take drugs, you are weak. And when you're weak, you will not accept that. You will not have honor. Honor means, as example, about your body. Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't take drugs. Alcohol, okay. But everything else is not okay. Number 5. Okay, number 5. Who are going to read now? Number 5. Okay, third, take me number 5.
Always act chivalrously.
So be means always be a gentleman, especially to women. So don't be an animal. So when you see, as example, many times you see Yakuza movies where they act like animals, drunk and everything. This is not Yakuza. Yakuza are gentlemen. Yakuza are not drunken men shooting around. Sure, you have Yakuza wars, of course, but they are always very disciplined because they are Japanese. Okay, so much about the Yakuza. And here we have as example operation about the Yakuza. It's not only in Japan. So Yakuza are worldwide. So we have here as example, all Europe, the northern part of Europe, then America, then Brazil, South America, Australia. So these are the places where the Yakuza operate. And here we come to something also. Who can tell me who know the kamikaze? Kamikaze. Did you ever hear about these people?
Yes,
Let's
the
say-
the one who put himself on the bomb.
Correct. Very good. So in the Second World War, they came to a point to say, okay, the outside army is stronger than the Japanese army, but the soldiers of the Japanese are much more disciplined than the soldiers outside. So you have there the Americans as example what went against the Japanese, and the Japanese are much more honorable soldiers than the American soldiers or the every other soldiers, because they are the way of the samurai, win or die. So then there came the kamikaze. The kamikaze were soldiers what fly the aeroplanes into enemy's ships or enemy's other aeroplanes. So on that time, over 3,000, more than 3,000 Japanese pilots were killed. So that means they had an aeroplane filled with dynamite and other explosive materials, and they flew into the enemy. And it was very horrible to be a kamikaze. So they see here a picture when they fly away, the families with flowers, because they give them life for Japan. So they were highly honorable. And here we see a picture how a Japanese aeroplane flies in a battleship from the Americans. The worst attack what the Japanese did during the World War was Pearl Harbor. Did you ever hear the name Pearl Harbor? Anyone?
Not me.
Not me. Okay. Pearl Harbor, there's also a movie. So Pearl Harbor was a station in Hawaii from the Americans in the Second World War. And they had the most powerful and biggest battleships in Pearl Harbor to go against the Japanese. The Japanese figured that out, and the American not really believed, because you must think the distance between Japan, what is here up, and here down, what is Hawaii. They could fly that, but they could, and attacked Pearl Harbor in an extreme battle with the kamikaze. So in the attack, they killed over 2,000 American soldiers, and they sank more than 100 ships. Oops, this was one too much, but I cannot go back. Okay, yeah, I can go back. So they sank over 100 battleships. So that was a big problem for the Americans to go against Japan, to fight against Japan. And here we have facts about the Second World War. We have the leader, the general of the Japanese, and everyone know the guy on the right side, right? Hitler. So Japan and Hitler and one man more named Mussolini make the pact. A pact means the contract. So these three people plan to take over more than the half world. So you have Japan, Germany, and Italy So these three countries planned that time to take over the whole world. We had here a picture about the axis. We have on the left side, Germany with Hitler, Italy and Japan, and these were the allies what were fighting against these three countries. So we had there Great Britain, Russia, United States of America, China, and French. So they were fighting against this takeover. Unimaginable for Russia and America were friends that time. So they fight against, who is that? Okay, this is not so interesting. And then to understand why it come to that. What is that?
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki, correct. There is no right to anything. So plant an atomic bomb and kill civilians is never the right thing to do. But the Allies, the Americans, didn't find a way because the culture of the Japanese, losing is no option. So they fight till their death. They're not saying like the Americans would tell, okay, I cannot fight more, I need to capitulate. So they stop fighting and give them on the loser side, or the other countries. They fight to them death. So the Americans didn't know what to do more. So they demonstrate them power over a nuclear bomb and bombed Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Devastating, because there was nothing left after. So you have there the two nuclear bombs, Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And this was Hiroshima after the nuclear bomb. There is nothing standing. And the most people were dead. 100,000 people dead. Died in seconds. Not in seconds, in, yeah.
They say, someone say they cannot feel the pain before they die.
Because it goes so quick. You must think like in a clap your hand, you are ash. Because the temperature is so high, millions of the degrees. Same as example, okay, I put you into lava. How long can you survive? Maybe 1 second. You still feel the pain. Lava is very hot. But a nuclear bomb is much hotter. It just goes a fraction of a second. You are ash. Even not ash, in nothing. You are gas. But anyway, children, women, old people died. They had nothing to do with the war. So there is no right to do that. But the Americans that time see no other way to stop the war, because all world stopped. Italy stopped. Germany stopped. So all world capitulated. They stopped fighting, but the Japanese not. They kept on fighting. They kept on killing. And this was something the Japanese could not be stopped. And the Americans saw only the way to drop 2 nuclear bombs on Japan to stop the war. Day after, Japan capitulated and stopped the war. Okay. Why it stopped now? Okay. I think, let me short look where it goes further. About what happened in China I decided not to show because we have younger children here. We have Ken here, we have Pudit here, we have Lukchup there. And I'm not gonna show that because it's too extreme. The videos what I saw on YouTube about Japan and other countries. So it's not only, let me see. It's not only, okay, I can show it so far. Japan massacre in Asia, from the invasion of China in 1937 to the end of World War II, Japan military regime murdered. There is no war. Murder is murder. Murder is you kill someone that not fight. So murdered near 3 million to 10 million people, probably most about 6 million Chinese. But they killed people in Indonesia, in Korea, in the Philippines, in Indonesia, and among other countries there. So they killed Western prisoners. So all world, this is something what bothers me a little bit. All world speak about Hitler and the Second World War, but people not speak about the Japanese. I don't say the Japanese were more horrific, more bad, more worse, or the worst as the German people that time, but no better. So Germany had the concentration camps. That means these prisons where they killed the people and gassed the people. So Germany, the Hitler Germany wasn't better than Japan, but also Japan wasn't better than Germany. They did the same horrific thing. What Hitler did in Europe, Japanese did in Asia, but somehow this got forgotten, and this we should never forget, because 10 million people is equal to Germany. I not talk bad about the Japanese. I not talk bad about the Japanese. I give only a fact. What the German people did in the Second World War was horrific, bad, extremely bad. And the same thing, when you put it on a balance, the Japanese people did in Asia. I mean, it's horrific when you go through German history where you can see everything. And the Japanese history in the Second World War is the same, 100% the same. They killed children and rape and everything. So we should not forget, but we should not forget why the people are like that. And there we come back to the samurai. Losing is no option. Number one, if somebody lose, if you win, then the loser has to die. This is the Japanese culture in the past, in the history. Capitulation not happen. So if a samurai loses, he will capture, he try in all ways to kill himself. The samurai in the history. And if he win, he will kill. So this is the culture, the old culture, the history of the Japanese. And this goes on till today. So we have there, okay, not directly the toilet. So the Japanese are born to win. So they give all life to them, how I can say, to the future of Japan. So modern electronic, because the people give even, okay, can you imagine you have in Europe, as example, you have 3 weeks holiday or the 1 month holiday per year. So you can take 1 month holiday per year in Europe and the company pay you. In Japan, they have this too. They have also 3 weeks holiday, but they give the holiday to the people. Come inside, come. They give the holiday to the they give the holiday to the company. So they say, okay, I take holiday, but I take this 1 week only because I like to learn something new. So they go study somewhere. And in the other time, the other 2 weeks, they're present to the company and go back to work. So the Japanese culture is very, very different to many other cultures in the world. So first we need to understand the Japanese, and then after we can understand the present and the past about the Japanese. Okay, so I hope this was a little bit informative for you about Japan. Did you learn something today?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
But I think you like to learn something about a part in the Second World War. I think, especially first, use Google, use YouTube, but I tell don't do it. Don't do it, because you will see things you should not see. Okay? Don't start Google around, don't start using YouTube and look about Second World War in China, because this what you see is not a horror movie, because everything what you see is real, and this goes in your mind and it will stay in your mind. And don't look. Okay, I know if somebody say don't look, you just extra look, but believe me, trust me, don't Google more. You know enough. You not need to know more. You know the war was horrible. So don't look it with your own eyes. Okay, good. I wish you everybody a happy afternoon, and we see us again on Monday. Okay, bye bye everybody.
Bye, teacher.
Goodbye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye bye. Okay.
Bye, teacher.
Goodbye. Bye bye.